What is up, guys? This is Lenthio coming at you with an updated deck profile of my Exodia Quasar deck. Now, Quasar is finally legal in the European TCG over here, and it's really great, and I can finally actually play this deck. It's been a while that I've wanted to play it, and it's just so fun. So this is the updated version. Now, I will be going into a lot of depth as to the card choices and the combos and such. If you didn't see my previous video is actually the most popular video on my channel to date, with about 25,000 views in total. And I just want to say thank you for everyone who did watch it, and I hope that you do enjoy this deck profile of the updated version. So yeah, I'll go through all the different pieces. So to start off, we have the Exodia Pieces. Don't really need to say much about these, but I will go into detail as to why these cards are useful. The head is the dead one in the deck. This is the one that you don't use. If it's in your hand, leave it in your hand and do not use it, because you're just going to lose. If you get rid of that card, there's no way to get it back into your hand, so your Exodia kind of win condition is gone. Two-Sided the Dark Clown. This card is in here because it has synergy with Galaxy Serpent and also with the White Elephant's Gifts, and finally the Wonder Wands. So this is what you'll use for your TG Hyper Librarian play mainly. So this is one that you'll mainly use with Galaxy Serpent, which I'll get to in a second. But Two-Saggy, I originally had 3, I think it was, but I've cut it down to 2 just because I kept seeing it in testing and it was just really annoying me. So I've decided to cut it down to 2, and it's actually been working fine. You don't necessarily want to see this as much, but you know, there you go. It has to live in here to work really. 2 Galaxy Serpent. Here's one of your tuners, one of 2 tuners basically, and he's here for your kind of rank 5 plays, level 5 plays, the synchros. He's also the usual things with cards of consonants and so on and so forth. Very important, you don't need to run 3. 2 is completely fine. If you want to test it at 3, it's fine, but you'll see it way too often, and he's actually not as important. He's there for, obviously, all the really random different plays, but he's mainly there for the TG Hyper Librarian play. To go mental. Then the final monster is 3 Flamvell Guard. This is one of the most important in the deck. It was at 2, it's now at 3. That's simply because Formula Synchron is now at 3. So, Flamvell Guard is used with cards of consonants, it's used with White Elephant's Gift, it's used with Enchanted Fitting Room, all these cards that you'll see soon. And the main plays that you do is with one of the Exodia Pieces. So these are going to be used for Formula Synchron and main drawing. But you'll see in a sec, it's got a nice ass with 2000 defense. But other than that, it's not really that important other than them. But it's a key card in the deck. So going on to the spells, we have a lot of them. If your opponent summons an Echeria Beast, you scoop. Just so you know. Enchanted Fitting Room is one of the main cards in the deck. The effect is pay 800 life points, pick up 4 cards from the top of your deck and special summon any level 3 or lower normal monsters among the picked up cards to your side of the field. Return all other cards from the... basically, yeah. Return all the rest into the deck. Because this card is incredibly useful. You use this for everything. It's one of your main plays. You want to get as many of these that you can onto the field because it helps you make your plays. It helps you do different things in the deck, and it's just really important. Sometimes you can completely miss and just pick up 4 spell cards. That does happen, unfortunately, but it doesn't matter because they do just go back to the deck. Yes, you are paying 800 life points, but the important thing is you don't have to do this just once per turn. You can do it 3 times in one turn if you so wish, which does happen, so that's pretty important. Then just some generic draw cards. We have 3 Upstart Goblin, don't need to say much about that. You're running Exodia, so you kind of want to maximize on the draws. 3 White Elephant Gift. This is important. This is just your main drawing card, so this can be used in conjunction with many cards in the deck, one of which is the card that you just saw, Enchanted Fitting Room, and it's just vital that you need this type of card. So these are the drawing cards that you have. Cards of Consonants is another one. This is for your Flamvell Guard and also your Galaxy Serpent, so you have 5 targets. So always be wary of what cards you're actually discarding and using if you haven't seen your Cards of Consonants, because you're going to see them very soon if you are, you know, ripping through the deck. Tri-White. Now this card is super pivotal in this deck and super broke. Effect is target 3 level 2 or lower normal monsters in your graveyard, special summon them. Doesn't work with Saggy, but it works with everything else. And the plays you can do with this is just crazy. You can do easy formula synchrons, you can do TG Hyper Librarian combos with other cards in the deck, but this is pivotal. You want to see this as soon as possible once you're filling up the graveyard. 3 Silent Doom. I was playing around with this or Swing of Memories, and the only reason I chose this is because it doesn't have the destruction effect. Swing of Memories, it dies in the end phase if I do remember correctly. So this is why Silent Doom is in here, and also Summon It in defense is just fine because, you know, you don't want to take as much damage as possible. Wonder Wand, you have, if I remember correctly, 6 targets, the 4 Exodia Pieces and the 2 Saggy the Dot Clowns. Wonder Wand, it's just there to just equip and draw. So that's basically why it's here. You can do some combos where, you know, you can Silent Doom back a Spellcaster and then just use it on that. So you're technically like equaling out and such, but hey ho, sorry for that. 2 Dark Factory of the Mass Production. Reason why I played 2 is because 3 just kept clogging for me and it was really annoying, but that does mean you need to play this very carefully. You will be getting rid of all of your pieces into the grave apart from the head, and you want to make sure that you can get this. This is important because you're going to be recycling through them all and you want to add them back. When you're at 3, you can be a little bit kind of carefree, and I've got to stop rhyming, and you can just bring back any other different things, but if you're drawing into them now, you want to try and keep them in hand as possible. The important plays that you can do with Dark Factory is you can add back your tuners and then cards of consonants them. So there's just some different plays that you can actually use with this. And then going into the one-offs, we have the 1 Soul Charge, super broke in this deck, because you don't need you just don't need your battle phase. If you have a Quasar, fine, I'm just going to sit on a Quasar, but this just means that you can just make those plays so ridiculously great. You can do some cool combos with the fact that if you've got this and you've got TG Hyper Librarian out, you can Wonder One the Librarian, bring it back, and then make quite more formula synchron plays. It's just really nice. The 1 Hand Destruction. So I think I had 2 in my last build, and I've been chopping and changing the different type of ratios with this, and I found that 1 is fine. So other cards that I've tested instead of this is Dark World Dealings. That's one of the main ones I've actually tested, and it just comes up short. When you're in a awkward situation where you need to kind of dig and you don't have much resources to do that, I'd much rather have the Hand Destruction as opposed to Dark World Dealing, because Hand Destruction has a better chance of me getting to a card that I need instead of Dark World Dealing that's just going to make me draw 1. Obviously this draws 2, but obviously you're going to neg 1 technically. And either way, they're all neg cards, but you want to be able to see them as quickly as you can, and Hand Destruction for me is just the one that I really kind of used effectively. It really got me out of some bad situations. There are some other cards you can use. One of the new one is Draw Muscle in the newest set, which is target just target a monster with 1000 defense. It can't die by battle, and you draw a card, and it's a quick play, but it has to be in defense position. I tested that out, and it was actually on paper really good, but when I actually put it to the deck, it was a bit situational because of the defense cost. So that's why I did test them, but I didn't run it, and that's why Hand Destruction has been at 1 for me. 1 Where for Art Thou. This is pretty standard. You can run 2, you can run 3, but 1 has just been fine for me. Really got to stop rhyming. I swear I don't make this up. I swear I don't do it. Anyway, I do it on the spot, I swear. Should have been a rapper. So we've got this, and this is very important as well because it means that you can actually get to your different Exodia Pieces, or you can also get to your Flamvel Guard if you've got a Cards of Consonants in hand, so it's quite important. But you can run more of these if you want, but it's simply because of the space is so tight in this that's why I don't run more. 1 Day Piece, don't really need to say much about this. If it was at 3, it would be so broke. I remember when it was. And finally, the 1 Dragon's Mirror, simply because the first dragon has come out, or whatever it's called, which you'll see soon. This is just great. You can run multiple copies of this, but what you have to be wary of is you don't want to get rid of your normals from grave quite early on. You want to make sure you have multiple ones in there to make sure you don't have dead tri-whites or anything like that. So you need to be careful when you play this, but being able to summon a massive beta that can't die by battle is unaffected by monster effects is just really nice and actually helps you stall out if you need to get there. So going on to the extra deck, we have the 1 Shooting Quasar Dragon. It's kind of standard. Quasar can be summoned in this deck. We have the 1 Shooting Star Dragon. This card is just great. It goes along with Quasar. Then we have the 1 Star Eater. You can make it. You can make it with the first dragons because it's level 9. First of the dragons, sorry, which is level 9, and also your Formula Synchron or your Galaxy Serpent. Reason why I do play this is it is a good monster, and you might think, well, you can choose better monsters, but it's also because you can make TG Hyper Librarian extra draw plays, so that's why it is in here. Then the level 7 is Black Rose. You can make it in your opponent's turn with if you just have a Formula and TG Hyper Librarian out, so it's good if you're just running out of ideas and you need to disrupt your opponent. Level 5s, we have the 1 Armades, the 1 Catasta, and then the 1 famous TG Hyper Librarian. This is a pivotal part of your extra deck, and you need him if you want to play this deck. Then going on to level 4s, we have Herald of Arclight. Just if you want to make sure, you know, you want to stop your opponent doing anything, Herald of Arclight's a great card to go into. The 1 Balmung, kind of just standard level 4s here that you need. Going into level 3, we have Mistbird because you can make it, and if you, again, just need to keep drawing, or there's an annoying monster on your opponent's side of the field, you want to make it go to 0, you can do that. Brand new card, well, not new, but newly unlimited, is Formula Synchron. This card is so broke in this deck. Seriously, the plays that you can just make is unbelievable. The fact you just keep drawing, it's so good, and it helps the consistency of the deck quite a lot. You can do multiple Formula Synchrons in one turn because you just have Tri-White to keep bringing them back. Now, you might not think it's worth it, but seriously, it is. If you have TG Hyper Librarian, it's just so broke because you draw 2. There have been multiple times where I've summoned TG Hyper Librarian with multiple Formula Synchrons in one turn, and you normally win when that happens. And then it's just so easy to actually make Quasar with this, because by the time you've gone through all of them, you can just bring Soul Charge or use any other revival cards on Saggies and anything like that. So it's just absolutely amazing, and I'm so happy it's gone to 3 for this deck. Then we have the 1 First Dragon. This card's just great. As I said, it's just an absolutely incredible card, and really helps you because you can just go all out on your opponent with a Quasar and this, or you can just sit back with this in defense mode, just letting it not die. If they have the out to it, they have the out to it, it's fine. But yeah, so that's that. And then finally the 1 Slacker Magician. This is just for an extra bit of stalling. The extra deck is so tight, it's unbelievable, and I just run this card because it is actually really useful. So that is it. But that is it, guys. That is the deck profile. I hope you really did enjoy it. I love this deck, and I would really recommend you to play it. It's a massive trolley deck, and it is just a little bit of fun. But yeah, that is it. So I hope you did enjoy it. If you want to see some combos, I'll link the original video that I had, which I think I got Exodia and Quasar in one go on the first go, so it was really nice. But that is it. Hope you did enjoy it. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the deck. Give it a like and try and get it above the previous ones in likes and views. So that is it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Olympio signing out.